You know how to hit start, baby?
Stop trying to show off already. Hey y'all!
First of all,
welcome
slow
to
that
the
down.
Jay&Kay show.
Shit getting on back. What's going on, y'all? Jay in the building, of course, as usual, and you know Kay. So we're
Hey y'all! It's Kay in the building, and then there's Jay.
So what's going on, y'all? It's Jay, and you know her. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep it popping. Today's segment is about
It's about stop. Ow.
Baby called a Charlie horse in her big toe.
Anyways, it's about 5 ways
Not
to
5 ways.
become.
That's not what it's
What
about.
is it?
Where it's about, baby, don't grab the card.
7 ways. 10 ways?
9.
9 ways.
9 steps.
9 steps to becoming a happier couple.
Jay&Kay show. Okay, so what's going on, y'all? Jay&Kay show. We happy that y'all here. We missed y'all so much, but we're back.
And we back. And we back. And we back. And we back. And
This
we
ain't an
back.
anthem.
No, that's not the words.
Baby,
This
why
ain't
you-
the intro. This,
But what,
okay.
I can say what.
Anyways,
So
I be chant so bad.
oh, you wish you had a chance so bad. Don DeMarco, jump like that,
Nobody knows what that means. Anyways, so the first one is.
Y'all know what that means. What you do with your feet?
Jason, what's the first one? Come on, stop doing that.
So-
Cause you're wasting time.
What's going on, y'all? This is Jay,
I'm Kay.
and today we're talking about 10 habits.
9.
9 habits
It's not
of.
9 habits.
Maybe it's 9 habits.
It's 9 steps to becoming a happier couple.
That's what it is. We're working on these now as we speak. So if you guys get
He's
something
working
from
on
it,
them because I'm good.
right?
Not just playing. We're working on them.
And every joke, there is some truth.
All right.
But-
So the first one is.
You introduce yourself.
They know who I am.
She said,
They know who I am.
"Who are you?"
Kay. Okay.
Oh. Okay, go ahead. What's the first one?
So the first one is do not go to sleep mad, angry.
Don't let the sun go down in your right. That's real. That's real. Don't go to. Well, what that means to me. Now, for me, in my example, I feel like that's one of the toughest things for me in a sense because I've done a vlog about this and a couple of y'all, and shout out to the people that like my vlogs.
You talking about the little things you do on Facebook?
What? Yeah, the little things. This jump about to get real, but no, I do. I think that's one of the big. That's one of the big things for me to do is because sometimes I get so angry because I think with my heart so much that I'd be like, I wouldn't say that to you. Okay, bump this jump.
Jason, we're not talking about what makes you mad. We're talking about don't go to sleep mad. How did I do that?
I'm sure I'm talking about it. If you would slow down, rest them little lips, that large opening under your nose, then maybe them ears will open up a little bit more. They big enough. I had to get her together, but so at the end of the day, it's a big thing because sometimes if you're like me, who think with your heart first and you don't want to hurt somebody, so you try to word stuff a little different ways.
Okay, so we're talking about not.
Baby, can you? Shh.
But no, because you're staying off of the topic.
And you want to word stuff a little different ways, so stuff don't happen, and then somebody turns around and says angry things to you, and you just get mad and say, man, bump it. I ain't want to talk to you that way, so I know I ain't talk to you that way, so you're not going to talk to me that way. I ain't got nothing to say to you. I'm going to bed, and I don't care. Okay, if you go to hell in the handbasket, I don't care.
Oh, God.
Right, that part. So, no, you have to be the bigger person sometimes and go back and say, hey, I apologize. Even if you're not the person that did it.
What don't go to sleep mad means to me is that you should try to solve the problems, and even if you can't come to an agreement, at least agree to disagree. Don't just leave or end the conversation on a bad note. You don't want to take it into the next day. Try to solve it when you can. if you can, but don't just hold a grudge and like, oh, I'm not talking this boy, I'm not. Like, that's not healthy. Like, in your relationship, communicate, figure out what the issue is. If you can't figure out what the issue is, maybe ask somebody for advice or something. Agree to disagree. Agree to come back to it at least, but don't just let it go and be like, oh, whatever, I'm just mad at you. Like, don't do that.
That's real. That was a good answer, babe.
I know.
Her head is already big. We wanted to get it bigger.
Thank you, babe. I'm just kidding.
True, but good answer.
Thank you. Is if you're unhappy, it's your fault. I don't really get that one, but I guess Jason will explain it to y'all.
So if you're in any relationship you are in, whether it's a spouse, whether it's with family members, boss, any relationship you're in, you only meet yourself. So whatever if you're unhappy and you're the one with the problem.
It's all good. Okay, so we're not doing this again.
Oh. So if you're the one with the problem, then how can I say it? I use an example. Let's just say you're in a relationship and you feel like your spouse doesn't communicate with you enough. That's your fault. Because it's something that you're doing that's causing that person not to want to communicate with you. Now in your mind, you're saying, I'm doing everything right. Well, are you? Because you have to realize, one, how does that person communicate? Have you asked that person, how do they communicate? These are the things, don't say, I know how they communicate. Did you ask them? Sometimes qualifying questions are amazing. So it's your fault if you're in the predicament that you're in. It's your fault.
I don't really feel like that's a healthy answer that you just gave, because there could be plenty of things that happen in relationships, like abusive relationships, verbally abusive relationships, physically abusive relationships, and you're saying, oh, it's the person's fault. Like, I feel like that could be kind of dangerous and unhealthy to tell somebody that may be a victim in their relationship.
So here's the thing. If you're in a relationship that's like that, it's still your fault. How? Because when you give it to somebody else, let's say it's an abusive husband, because that's cliche. Let's say, or it's a verbally abusive wife. That's cliche. If you're still allowing that, then it's your fault. Once you say it's...
But the thing that we're trying to tell them is steps to become a happier...
Right, how do you become... So what you do is you find within yourself what makes that person feel like it's okay to treat you that way. Because it's something that you're doing. Because other than that, that person wouldn't do it. It's something that you're doing. It's something that you're allowing to happen. And once you realize what that is, it will no longer happen. Why? Because it'll either remove itself or you will remove yourself. But once you give it to somebody else, you lose the power. Okay, so the next one is we're talking about nagging. Dun, dun, dun.
So that's another step in having a happier relationship, is to try to limit the nagging. For me, I feel like I do it sometimes because I'll say something to Jason and Jason will, no matter how I say it,
I'm Jason. Nah, I ain't Jay no more. I'm Jason now.
Jay.
That's when the junk got real.
If I say it, like, no matter how I say it, if I feel like if I say it in a way that I shouldn't say it, if I say it like, if I'm like, Jason, you da-da-da-da, like, and he doesn't listen, that's my fault. But if I say it in a way that I feel like he will receive well, and he still is not listening to me or giving me the attention that I need or making that thing happen, then I feel like that's his fault. Now, where the nagging thing comes in is I feel like instead of continually saying it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, I just say, okay, Jason, I feel like it's kind of rude how you're not paying attention to what I'm saying, and I'm trying to say something important.
That's good, and that's true. I think and guys, this goes to the guys too, and this is something that I struggle with too, because sometimes and everybody's not like me, so I do understand that. How things work for me is sometimes so much. Words of affirmation are a big thing. But for me, there are the times where if she does say it in a certain way that I don't like, I heard her, but I have to do better about how I respond. Sometimes I'm offended and I have to be that bigger person like I talked about in the previous video, or saying, hey, what about, I take that on me. If she's saying something wrong, I have to take that on me. I can't blame her, because if I blame her, I give her the power. So what I have to do is, what am I doing that makes you feel like you have to say this? And then she'll tell me what it is, and then now I can adjust it and we can have a conversation. So, but know this, ladies. I say ladies because most people say nagging come with ladies, but guys be nagging too. So anybody. But if you if you do want something to change, make sure you say it in a way that you want things to be changed. What do you mean? Don't use escalating words like you need to do this, that, and the third. Well, if you're saying that, 9 times out of 10, you have to think about how that person's going to take it. Put yourself in their shoes. If they said that exact same thing in that exact same way to you, how would you respond? Would it make you jump right up and go do it, or would it make you say, "Who are you talking to?" So and some people, well, sometimes they need that, right? But do they need it from you? So what you have to do is, if you want something to be done, say it in a way that it can cause change. If that makes sense.
Makes sense to me. The next step is take action.
You see how she put it on me? Listen.
What does that mean?
That's action.
I know. I said, what does it mean to you?
So take action to me means sometimes Leo based. Shout out to the Leos out there. You see what it is. We know what we're doing. But I can have a tendency to be complacent, lazy. And for those people that are out there that's complacent and lazy, sometimes it's real. And that could be frustrating to your partner, because if they're very, and you're like, hey, it's going to get done, chill. Yes, that brings balance to a relationship. So, but sometimes it can be a depressant. So what you have to do is you got to find that balance.
Be a what?
A depressant.
Oh, you said a depressing.
No, a depressant.
Like, what?
So you have to find that balance. So like, use myself as example. Sometimes I leave stuff out, and in my mind, I'm going to clean it up when I feel like it.
It'll be meat. Oh, wait. Eat meat no more.
See how she
but
lied?
No, but when we,
see how she lied?
No, but when we did eat meat, like, or anything, it'll be anything, like condiments, like actual food, like anything. Like, he just leaves it all out. Whatever he was done with, he just leaves it there. And I'm just like, I clean it up, but I'll be like,
So, but if I want, but if I don't want.
Usually I clean it up. Sometimes I don't. I do clean it up.
Not all the time.
That's because you need to learn how to do stuff.
Now pause. Did you see how that just happened? In that moment, would that help? What was she trying to get in that? Would that make me want to say, yeah, I do, or who the freak you talking to? And us get in an argument. These are the things you have to realize. So yes, fellas, take action, but make sure.
Females take action too, though. It's not just fellas. I mean, but I feel like the nagging thing was more me. The taking action thing was more you.
Right.
But I don't want to be like, oh, women nag and men don't do with like whatever.
Because I don't believe in genders.
Okay, that's not what I said. Don't say that.
No, that's two of our things. For me, action. For her, nagging.
No, I don't nag that much though.
Baby, the fact that you said that much.
Oh, but the reason see, these two go hand in hand. If you do the action, if you actually take action, then I won't have to say things over and over and over again.
True. But if she wants it not to say it over and over and over again, then she should say it one time the correct way, especially if she's the one that has the problem, so that I can understand what it is she means. Because remember,
do I have the problem or do you have the problem? Because you're not the one taking action.
Well, I don't have the problem because I'm not the one that's complaining. You are. So, with that being said, if she has a problem because she wants it done correctly, then she should say it in a way. And if I want her to stop nagging and tell her that I'll take the action, then I have to do it in a way that she doesn't say anything. You see how we have to take ownership in what we do, and it's not the other person?
Next. So another way to have a happy relationship is to spend time together. That's importante.
Yes, that's a big thing. And if you're somebody that's very, very busy, you have to make time. You got to make time. You can't allow yourself to make excuses. Man, I don't have time. You do have time. You have time. You have more time than you know. It's your job to deal with me.
Sorry.
It's your job to deal with your time. It's nobody else's time. Man, I don't got time because it's my kids, man. When the kids come over and I ain't got time because the boss no. That's, again, you have to take ownership of what you do. It's your time. So since it's your time, then you have the same 24 hours that somebody else has. It's what you do with your time that makes you who you are.
And when you're spending time together, do things that you enjoy doing together. You can, if you like doing the same old things together all the time, if that's your relationship thing, cool. But sometimes it's okay to switch it up. You don't have to do the things that you've always done when you're spending time with that person. Do things that may make that person happy. Like even if you are just at the crib chilling, whatever. Like it's okay, but like as long as you're spending time and spending quality time together, then that will definitely make your relationship better.
It will. And
happy, not better, but happier. You'll be happier.
And think about your partner when you're choosing something. Think about them. Will they get excited? So even if she, let's say she wants to do painting with a twist, and I don't paint.
With a twist.
But then I don't drink. Let's say that. But I like to paint. Well then, painting with a twist would be cool because we get the best of both worlds instead of I don't like to do none of it. Think about your partner.
Make room for separateness. So yes, spend time together, but make room to have time for yourself
This
also.
is a big one.
This is really big. Okay, so for me, I used to be the person that always had to be around people all the time. Like I'd never liked to be alone. I was either with my friends or I was doing something like I didn't like to do things alone. Now, like I feel like I appreciate our time more together because I take care of myself first. Like I do have time for myself to do things I need to do for myself or just go out and chill with myself. Like I used to didn't like to go eat by myself or go anywhere by myself. Honestly, I didn't like to. Now I go to the bookstore. I'll be all over the place by myself, whatever. And it gives me time to think. It gives me time to reflect on myself, the things I have going on, the things that we have going on. It allows me to reflect on my actions with him. And separateness doesn't even necessarily mean by yourself. Like I spend time with my friends all the time. Like I'm always gone. I'm always doing something or whatever. Like I make sure I spend time with him, but I also make sure that I'm doing things that I like to do with my friends and myself.
Yeah, that's a big thing, man. That's one of the biggest.
Oh, and some people can I say something? I'm sorry. I don't want to interrupt you.
Go ahead.
So, and like I've noticed, I've been observing like relationships and like with older and younger couples, I've been observing this. Like they'll literally be together 24/7. 24/7. And when someone's like, oh, do you want to do this or you want to do that? They're like, oh no, I can't do that because whatever. And it's like, okay, but are you even, I'm not going to knock nobody, but like, I've been observing older and younger couples. Like, they're not really doing anything together. They're not really making each other happy. They're not really like pouring into their relationship with that person, but they're together all the time. Like, I feel like that's because they're not getting out and doing things for themselves or having time to even be apart from that person to like do the things that I said prior to what I just said. What do you think about separateness being necessary?
It's important to allow that person to.
That person, it's about yourself too.
Well, for me, it's important to give me my time. Like if I want to be on PlayStation or come home and watch a game or even spend, time on my phone. Give me.
That verb. It's like straight marinara.
If I want to spend time on my phone or PlayStation, I need that right. I don't want to come home. Yes, I'm happy to see you, but give me that break. Even if I'm on the phone, don't as soon as I get off work, boop boop, you blowing up my phone. Give me a minute. Let me initiate it with you. That's what I call separateness. Hey, I'm going somewhere. I just need some time. I'll call you and check in later. But
I feel like we're good about that.
We are, but. People, you need this. If your guy doesn't want to spend a lot of time with you, 9 times out of 10, you're not giving them their separateness. Now, guys, don't take the jump too far and be like, you gone for a whole year and you just never come. You hit a text, hey, and it's been 6 hours since y'all talked. That's not real. So, but give that person their separateness where they can do their own thing. Allow that person to be them for at least an hour.
So the next topic, or the next step in being a happier couple is... Wait, what was it?
You gave that big old intro.
Too much.
Except the fact that every problem does not have to be fixed. And that's a tough one for me. What I hear with that is... What you got going on? What I can hear with that, baby. What?
Okay.
No, it's okay.
No, it's not. Go ahead.
They want to rub my feet.
Jason, that's not... That's not what I was trying to do.
So, accept the fact that every problem is not going to be fixed. This is a huge one for me. And again, y'all, we're not saying that we're gurus in this. Because we struggle with this. I'm still learning on majority of these. But we have a good life. So, and we're growing. So, we're trying to help you guys grow as well. But I came from a family where either you right or you're wrong. No in between, no gray area. So when I get into that area, it's like I want to kind of stay on it. You know, make sure that I'm getting it right or proving her wrong. And I have to realize that we can.
You stress me out. Just keep talking.
But we have to learn that we have to agree to disagree. And it's like, well, no, you're wrong. Accept you're wrong and keep it moving, because that's what I do. When I'm wrong, I accept it, I keep it moving. You should do the same thing. End of conversation. That's not real, because there's no growth there. Give her some time, even if I feel like I'm right. What?
But every time that you think that way, doesn't mean you're not always right, babe.
True. No, that's true. But if
that's where there's problems. That's where problems happen, because I think I'm right, you think you're right, and sometimes we don't want to listen to what the other person's saying. But if we do continue talking about it, we realize, okay, this problem's not getting fixed right now. You have to realize, okay, every problem's not going to be fixed. Some problems may be fixed later on. Maybe you'll, like he said, give the person some time to come realize what you're saying, right. Vice versa. Like sometimes we'll get into it and then I'll leave, like to go to the gym or to work or something, and then I'll be thinking about it a little bit once I get time to myself, like outside about thinking of the stuff he said, I'm reflecting, and then I'll be like, oh dang, okay, I could do this differently. So then I'll hit him up and I'll be like, you might have been right.
And I do the same thing for her. When she said that, I say, you're right, I have been messing up, and I do apologize for that. But when you agree to disagree, change can happen, because you allow each other to breathe. Let that thing breathe for a minute. You don't have to get an answer that night or at that moment.
Wait, but we did say earlier that, like, there's a difference in don't go to bed mad and that, though, right?
Right, it's a huge difference. Here's the difference, because now the difference between don't go to bed mad or don't let the sun in down your wrath and taking everything doesn't have to be fixed is it's two different things. One, you're on purposely going to bed mad. I ain't finna say nothing to you. Two is, let's agree to disagree and come back to it. That's the difference. Have in mind that if we have to come back to this, we can come back to this. But no, you're wrong. Don't ever say that to me again. Took it too far.
So the next step in becoming a happier couple,
and we're almost down to the home stretch.
Listen. This is one that I struggle with sometimes. So I'll let Jason talk about it first, and then I'll give my input.
Sometimes? Ooh.
See, I tried to admit my wrongs.
You did good, baby.
Get off me. Get your leg off me.
As she put her leg on me, I need a little baby that's gonna listen. Listen. But no, that was a joke. It really wasn't. I felt that way for real. Sometimes you have to show, but that wasn't the best way to show that. See that? See how I did that? Listen to what a person is saying. Don't be so frustrated that you are so caught in what you feel that you're not listening to the person, because change doesn't happen. If a person is saying something that you don't like, at least hear them all the way out so you can eat the meat
and spit out the bones.
It doesn't mean that that person is coming at you. They're just giving how they feel. And please understand there's a difference between thinking and feeling. A person thinks and says, what you did was wrong. Anytime you start off sentences with what you did, you're thinking too much. You're gonna hurt somebody. But if you say, I feel, then now emotion is involved and we can understand what a person is saying. That's thinking about the other person. That's taking time to listen, because when you listen, you hear how that person feels, not so much what that person thinks.
I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Like, I feel like you're stuck on, oh, how is the person saying it? How is the person saying it? Oh, if I say it this way, if I say it that way, it means I'm feeling. Like, you're just showing that it really matters to you how something's said to you. But we're just talking about listen. This segment is about, section of our conversation is about listening. So if you're talking to someone and you're maybe disagreeing, or they're trying to tell you something, maybe they're telling you something about yourself or saying why they did something, don't cut them off. Don't think you already know what they're gonna say. Just listen to them first and then say what you're gonna say. That's what I feel like this is about. Like, that's the thing that I have a hard time doing, because I don't want to forget what I'm saying, or like I don't want to feel like I'm being overpowered. So I'll be like, okay, let me say what I gotta say real quick, whatever. Or I'll feel like I already know what the person's gonna say.
Right, but I'm still saying, what is that person talking? I agree with what you're saying. That was very well said. What I'm saying is, when you take time to listen, when you're listening to a person, if you're listening, you're seeing how that person feels. That's what you're doing, because they're telling you how they feel. They're on their soapbox, they have a problem, and they're telling you how they feel. But if you're thinking while they're talking, you're not listening to them, because you're waiting for a rebuttal. But that. Well, wait. Are you listening to how they feel? Because what they're saying is their heart. So once you're listening to a person's heart, then you won't think so much, because you'll feel. Oh, that's what he's saying. You can't change how a person feels, but you can change how a person thinks.
Yeah, so that's one way to have a happier relationship. I'm working on it.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you. And last but not least, you all be my love.
Baby, God dog it. Wait a second. Baby, can you wait? You so fast. Start, baby. Let's start over.
My love has come along. My lonely days are over. And
Apollo
life is
Boy.
like a song. All right, anyways, so the last part is honesty. Be honest.
Be honest. I'm just being honest. Being honest. In the future, we have to be honest. Ball game. Ooh.
Yeah, that's one way to be happy in a relationship. Like I feel like that's like the biggest thing or whatever.
The biggest.
Like
when you're listening, when you're doing everything that we said, you have to be honest, but don't be brutally honest.
If you feel some type of way, be honest. Like if somebody asks you, did you do this? Did you do that? Be honest. Like
yes,
that's part of it. For me, like I've done wrong things in relationships in the past, but also like I try not to do something that I'm not going to be able to be honest about if I'm confronted about it. Yes. I have done something or things that I wouldn't want to say yes, but I knew that I still would have to. Like, and it's like, okay, is it? But there's other problems underlying problems with that. But just be honest. Like even like that's the best thing, because if the person's asking you, that means that they know like there's a reason that they're asking you or whatever. So and then be honest on why you did what you did, or why you're doing what you're doing, or why you feel what you feel, or why you said what you said, or why you went where you went. Just be honest about everything.
That is the biggest thing. I feel like honesty. I always say that in my job, in my life, and everything. Be honest. Don't be brutally honest, but be honest. What is the difference between?
Here you go again. Don't say it in a way that people. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. But you have to. Like you have to think about. I'm as you can see, good people. I'm really big on communication because I believe in change. You would know that because of how many dollars I got. Be honest all across the board. Just like she said, no matter what. If you don't want to deal with that, then don't do it. But be honest. If you're somebody, I hate to say it this way, but if you're a cheater, tell your spouse, I cheated. And then see where you go from there. Then hopefully y'all can have a conversation if you're still alive. The point is, be honest. Be honest with the person that you're with. Be honest to your job. Be honest to everybody that you are in a relationship with, because when you have honesty, you grow. So these are the 8.
That was 9.
9 steps to having a happy couple. As you can see, we're honest. It's not all roses and cream.
And go into it honest. Like go in. Like I gotta rewind it back real quick. Go into it being honest. Like he knows literally everything about my past. Everything. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything. Because I would want him to know, okay, this is person's on the past, like whatever, so he can decide if he still wants to be with me, or if I'm the person for him, or if that's something that he could deal with. Not deal with me doing it again or whatever, but like, you know what I'm saying, like, I just want to be all the way open, like going into it, instead of trying to hide something and later on be like, oh, I didn't tell you this. That's not fair.
Right. That's true. She did come into it honest. I think I came into it honest, as y'all can see in my video.
But I was very afraid of some of the things.
I'll still be afraid. Like,
no, I'm saying some of the things that, like, to reveal things like about myself.
And it scared me. I ain't gonna lie. I'd be lying to y'all if I said, nah, to that on the chin. No, anxiety. Like, it was tough. But I loved her more because she was honest with me. And then now put me in Jason, do you still want to be with her? And it's like my fear said, no, run. Like, you don't understand. The anxiety was there. Like, run. Panic. No, Jason, no. She did open me up. However she wants to say it or word it or visualize it. She opened me up a lot and caused me to see things in a different way. And for me, I was nervous about that. Her past, I still sometimes get nervous. But that's where trust comes. That's where honesty comes. Because if she was bold enough to tell me where she was, then I have to be mature enough to accept her where she is.
You don't have to. You don't have to. And I don't feel like you have to accept somebody. Like,
no, but you
just
have,
because they're honest with you.
No, accept, that's true. So baby, let me go ahead and tell you. No, you accept the fact that that person was bold enough to see where you are, to say where they are. Accept that. You don't have to accept the person, but accept that person because that person opened up and told you where they are. Now, if that's something that you don't want to deal with, you be honest with that person.
And that wraps up the Jay&Kay